appreciate everything that you said for the children. Robert, thank you all the
It's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Margarita Gurri, the lady with the red shoes, which she'll explain. Dr. Gurri is an expert in interpersonal communication, parenting, child development, ethics, and the use of humor for leadership and healing. A sought-after speaker, Dr. Gurri is known for her vibrant and highly energetic teaching style. As keynoter, presenter, consultant, and trainer. She has been a featured guest on radio programs including Wedding Talk, Dr. Tina Cahill's show, and NPR. She is a licensed psychologist in private practice with a PhD in clinical psychology from University of Kansas. Dr. Gurri completed her postdoc residency at the University of Maryland and postgraduate training at Menninger Institute. Dr. Gurri is an adjunct professor at Barry University. Her recognitions include the Governor's Crime Prevention Award. With great pleasure, I present Dr. Gurri.
Thank you. I'll get the mic. I just put it down here. Thank you. Well, good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me without this thing? Yeah. Yes. Yeah? All right. Well, I'll be miking up. It's such a pleasure to be here. I know I'm a psychologist. Don't be hating. But, yeah, a long time ago, it was a school social worker who actually saved my academic career. I came to this country from Cuba at the age of 4, and I didn't speak English. And I experienced quite a bit of nastiness. They were not pleased to meet me. And some of that is the prejudice of the times, right? And so they decided that maybe I belonged in a special classroom. I knew I was special, right? And they put me in a classroom that they called the retard class. Only one retard. Was that me? I don't know. There were a few other kids. And it was a school social worker that decided that I did not belong in the special needs class. Now, having said that, you know how God works, right? Because I was put in that classroom, because I wouldn't speak, I saw all these other kids that didn't belong there. So what I saw is a bunch of kids of color, because there was a lot of prejudice, right? And anyone who was any bit color, we were all there, all right? I saw kids that stuttered, kids with self-esteem issues. You know them, you see them every day, right? Kids were so abused they didn't want to speak. Kids were just scared to death. And so one of the things that I noticed was that, hey, grown-ups don't always get it, but I know in this room you do. So I have to thank you for taking me out of that class. I've done pretty well since, so I had some making up to do. So since we're talking about when I first got here, part of why I developed my attitude about humor and communication and fun in anything I do, and I consider myself a teacher too. Part of how, when we first came to this country, I walked into a picnic, and my mother was a very lively woman. Actually, she reminds me of you, Dr. Thompson. She was very elegant, fun, lively, and she walked into a picnic, and I don't know if you can tell, I have red shoes on? I know, my mother would say that's no se quedó lindo, that's not so elegant, but you had to see them, all right? So my mother was walking in, saying hello, my twin sister and I. By the way, my twin sister did not get put in the special needs classroom. That was a source of amusement for her for years. Okay. I think that's why I had to get a PhD, and she didn't. Okay. Okay. So we're walking into this picnic, and some of the faces were polite, but most of them were not. And one lady took a look at my mother's red shoes and said, Beba. Now, my mother's name was Esther Maria de Los Angeles. Beba's easier, no? Yeah. Okay, and Beba means baby. So she goes, Beba, psst, those shoes make you look loose. Now, I didn't know what it meant. I went to Catholic school later, so I figured it out. Lots of Hail Marys. Okay, so I'm walking around, and I see my mother stiffen up. And I thought, oh, my mother was not one that you would do anything impolite to. She had this way, this look that would just stop. I always thought maybe if she could have just looked at Castro, he would have behaved better. But it didn't work. Right. So my mother stiffened up, and she took a decision that changed my life. And I know you all make decisions every moment that change the lives of all the kids in your lives. She said, Jess, I can dance. And what I learned is whatever people get you, which is what you were saying, it's what you do with it, right? And we do that every day, and we get beaten down some. And that's what we teach all the kids and teachers, administrators, and yes, even parents who can learn, right? So let's play. All right, so those shoes make you look loose. That is my anthem, all right? And think about all the things people say to you. Now, getting ready for this, I was asking a bunch of kids. I work with some kids in an autism clinic. And so I asked some of them, so what's a social worker? And one of them said, Dr. Margarita, don't you know? Here, let me take you to the classroom, there's room. And I thought that was very thoughtful. Another one said, aren't they people who work socials? I think that's an FCAT essay winner, don't you think? I mean, I just think that's terrific. And my favorite answer was, however, the happiness fairy for kids. Oh, okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Now, having said that, I have an award that I give to some people. It is my privilege to be here. Whenever I go to a location, I look for leaders that have that special zazz, right? And so I would like to ask the 2 co-chairs, please. I'd like Mary and Liliana to come up. This is the Golden Kazoo Award. And I think for an award, we need a podium, don't you think? Yes. All right. Yes, yes. It looks so much more official, and then we can have this glow behind us, right? Okay. So, for all your service, I give to you the Golden Kazoo, that you may always toot your own horns. It goes the other end, and they have a kazoo dysfunction. You don't remember kazoos? Do, 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 do. Okay, all right, okay. Thank you. I saw how much these ladies put into this, and I thought, wow. Yes, please. And it's rare to go to these events where someone cares so much, and they look at the table. I mean, they just did such a beautiful job. All right, so now, this is the more modern. Who knows the Cupid Shuffle? You do show us a few moves? So when I was asking the kids about the fairy, one of them said, well, what does the fairy look like? And she said, and one said she had to be beautiful, more like this one here, right? The other one said, no, it's more the modern. She said, you should play the Cupid Shuffle for them. They need to dance. All right, so we're living in times of great stress, no? Can we agree on that? I know you notice. You're so sharp, right? Okay. We have stress as a nation, all sorts of reasons, challenged with money, manners, and priorities. I live in Miami temporarily. I'm looking for another house in Broward. And when I drive kind of I follow the law. I know that's a concept, the speed limit. Isn't that rude of me? I know, I'm just so inconvenient. And so I get that special salute all the time, right? And I'm always so touched. And so, keeping in mind my mother's philosophy, I do this. And I get about a 65 to 70% return like this. And they let me in because they think maybe I'm the church lady, maybe I'm their mother's neighbor, maybe I'm Aunt Batil that they see once a year. And so it's all how you respond, right? We have more and more these days understanding and tools as well. So we have the yin and the yang of it all, right? We have more technology, whether it's helpful or not, we have it everywhere, right? Okay. We have more understanding of child development than ever before. I'm just always thrilled that we finally get it. We're even beginning to understand how grown-ups work. It's a concept. So never have we been so needed, right? And never have we been so tired. So this is how we refuel. Now, Charles Dickens said it best. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, age of wisdom, age of foolishness, and he goes on and on. I thought the boy needed Prozac, quite frankly. And then he answered, it was the spring of hope. Now, because I'm editing, just like you're all the editors of your lives, I didn't add the last line was the winter of despair, right? Forget that. So you highlight what you want. You end it your own way, right? Okay, so when kids have nightmares, as social workers, psychologists, teachers, we tell them, great, that means you've got something to learn about, right? Whether it's a daymare or a nightmare. And my mother used to say, make up a new ending. How do you want this to end? Right? And on top of it, she used to say, go back, mi vida. Decide, do you want to have the bad, yucky ending? Or do you want to choose the good one? It's your choice. Giving us the power that we can face the reality of a nightmare as a gift from God, or we can change it as a gift from God. Either way, our choice. Now, this is your time. Again, I couldn't resist. I Googled you guys. You were hard to find, but she was all over the place, and I thought, she deserves it. Now, I don't know, I am so sad to think she's not going to be the president anymore. I would never want to be the one that follows her, so my blessings. All right. So lucky for us, we exist, social workers, psychologists, teachers, administrators. We exist to help. We're summoned by stress. I always remember the 9/11. Most people were streaming out, and there was the first response team streaming in. Aren't we that first response team streaming in when everyone's headed for the exit? Dun, 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 dun. All right. So let's do a toast. Toast yourselves. Pick up your glass of water. And congratulate yourselves on still having hope, still having humor, and certainly this room has attitude. There, there. Salute. Good, you deserve it. So now, here's one of my favorite clips. But you have to read lips. Can you hear it? Okay, well then I'll tell you about it. Okay, so basically this is the part of Mr. Holland's opus where he thinks he's a failure. You've all had that day. Remember yesterday, right? Yeah. You have a desk piled high. You have too many cases. You didn't understand what this mother was trying to tell you. You wanted to choke somebody. I know social workers aren't allowed to, but you certainly can think about it. And so here he is, he's the end of his career. He's thinking he's a failure. And what does he do? He's about to leave with his box silently with one teacher and his son who happened to be deaf. And what was interesting is they called him in and they did a nice event for him. They thanked him publicly. And all the people whose lives that he had touched were there to thank him. And one of the things I know is, mi vida, you know, you never know who are you affecting with what you do or don't do, say or don't say, even just how you show up, right? When I teach kids how to do job interviews, when I teach parents, professionals, I tell them the minute you wake up that day is the minute the interview begins, right? How do you present yourself? How do you step up? How did you get ready for today? You all look cute, by the way. Not in a sexual harassment kind of way, but you look fine. All right, so now everyone please stand up and go back to back with somebody. If you're more comfortable being seated, for whatever reason, please do remain seated. Back to back.
Excuse me, ladies.
Back to back. And you can have, just today, 3 is okay. Just for today. You want to join up with them? Join up with them. No one's alone in the social work world. No one has to be. Okay. And on a count of 3, I want you to say, what is it that you are most proud of yourself today? 1, 2, turn around, and 3. What are you proud of? Wonderful things about
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is wonderful. I love it. Oh, good. Keep up the work. All right. You didn't know you were going to have to work today, huh? Okay, so now I'm going to put you to work again because I don't care if you're noisy. I raised 6 kids. Noise up. You know, you're here to talk, you know. I got a bigger mouth than yours. It's fine. All right. So when the music stops, and that means that you have to stand up and the music will start, right? Okay, you get that. Okay. So when the music stops, the first thing you're going to do is tell someone what's something you want to be proud of. Okay? What's a goal that you're looking for? Okay, so get ready to stand up. Get up, walk, find a new partner. On which one? Okay.
Excuse me again, sorry.
All right. Now I want you, when the music stops, find a new buddy and tell them what you want to accomplish today. All right, ready? Find a new buddy. Or not. All right, the music stops, find a new buddy. And tell your new buddy what will be your opus. Your new life work. What will be your new life work? Thank you for playing with that. I'm sorry to stop you talking. I know. You have purple shoes. Well, you know, wait a second. Those are kind of reddy purple. Oh, that's the same camp as you. It's so cute. Somebody said you could take a picture. We should. Oh, you can't hear me? Okay, can't hear me? Okay. Hello. Thank you for playing along. You can find your seat. Oh, I got more. You're not rid of me yet. So if you look at the screen, I don't know if they can hear me. Can they hear me? That's what my mother did when she wanted to get our attention and hush us up. Please find your seats. Thank you. So I found this clip that I think is a great tribute to all of us in this room who are leaders. And it's my favorite superhero. Are you ready? Isn't that perfect? So I think that's for moms and leaders everywhere. It's just perfect. All right. So that was Anita Renfro for those of you who want to. I found her on YouTube. She has one for dads, but I thought, of course, the mom was better, you know. So remember as you're going through your day, yes, I can dance. And that's an attitude that you already have. So don't you just love being told what you already know? But it is nice to know how smart you are, right? All right, well, thank you. And now they've asked me to do another little presentation, and I chose the Tao of Pooh. And one of the things that's funny is that one of the other speakers, Lisa, is also doing a bucket of poo. And so I think we're very poo-friendly here. So, and I understand that the hotel is green, so that works well with that theme, right? Okay, so here's the Tao of Pooh. Who knows what the Tao is? What's the Tao? Ma'am? It's the Confucius way of living. And sir? The way. The way. All right, so the way to do what? Everything, that's right. He's got it. It's the way to do everything. And he actually lives with the Tao because he came early and he gave people change. That's a man who's prepared, right? So the Tao is about the yin and yang of it all. But sometimes we get stuck. Wait for it.
Hello? Hey, don't worry about it. I'll fix it in a second. All right. All right. That's more like it.
So there's a free advertisement. I found that when I was Googling stuck, and that came up. And guess what the name of this video is? Government. Isn't that just rich? Okay, so now, here's the thing. Everyone look this way. Everyone look that way. Look forward. Look back. Funny's all around you, right? And so are solutions. And if funny's not around you, you're the one, right? So get ready. My thing is, when we're stressed out, we often either do too much, which I'm sure social workers never done too much, right? And you're a school social worker, so you do it on purpose, right? That's even worse. It's a special brand of extra work, right? And then on top of it, here we are thinking about what do you want to do day to day. So let's take a look. Humor is the great thing, the saving thing. You already know that. You guys are funny. The minute it crops up, all irritation and resentment slips away, and a sunny spirit takes her place. Now, I got trouble recently with one of my granddaughters has this little Catholic thing she does. We're Catholic. And there was a school bus trip, one of those field trips. And I was on there. We had just watched The Blazing Saddles about we don't need no stinking badges. You know that one? So we get on the bus together, and they hand her a badge, and she says, "We don't need no stinking badges." So once again, I was in trouble with Sister Mary Margarita. Humor's a good thing, but we have to be careful when we whip it out, right? So let's do humor buddy agreements, because we're all humor buddies. The person you were back-to-back with, or persons you were back-to-back with, that's your humor buddy for today. But take a hot second and think about who else do you share a good joke. Like, for instance, the other day, I was vacuuming. My daughter had gotten one of those new, really great vacuums. I like the vacuum. I don't know. There's something wrong with me, but I like it. So there was something on the floor, and I picked it up, and I looked at it, because it wouldn't pick up. I put it back down. That's funny. Of course, I had to tell everybody. I mean, did that make any sense? You did the same thing. Why do we do that? I don't know, but we do it. So, you're in the best position to take care of you, yes? Yes. Yes, indeed. You have wisdom and experience, yes? Yes. Yes. Sometimes a great way to take care of you is to let someone help you, yes? Yes. Now, social workers aren't always so good at that, but yes? Yes. Okay. And with humor, we can talk about anything, correct? Yes? Yes. Okay, good. I like people who tell me yes. All right. It is the Tao of Pooh. Sometimes small things pack a wallop. So let me tell you how I came up with the Tao of Pooh. It started out because I got referred to a whole group of police chiefs and police officers who had trouble with their temper. You can't imagine that, can you? They're on the job. After a while, they become the job, right? And so they were all a little out of line. And so they sent Dr. Margarita to realign them. Okay. So I figured out some ways to think about temper. At the same time, I happen to have this child over here, which I call Little Lord Fauntleroy. He's 4 years old. He had been to every doctor in the world, right? He'd been scoped up and down. He had a trouble with pooing, right? It was just stuck. He couldn't poo, right? So then he's stuck coming to me. No one comes to the shrink unless they have to, right? So he's coming in. His parents say hello. They spent thousands of dollars. And I ask a question. I say, so why don't you want to poo? Apparently that was an unusual question. He said, it's mine. I'm keeping it. And I said, well, tell me about it. He said, I made it. It's mine. I'm not sharing. Well, he had a little brother He had a little sister. He shared everything else. This was his keeping it. So I had to convince him, on the theme of green, that if he pooed and flushed, he'd become one with the universe. And he would be in every leaf, every tree, every flower, and every root that would trip his brother and sister. So he went, Dr. Margarita, can I go pee? Can I go potty? I said, sure. So he went to my little potty with his older brother. And he came back, he said, I made a good one. And I said, congratulations. He said, want to see it? I said, no, thanks. But his brother assures me it was a Dairy Queen swirly. I'm just saying. All right. Now, who's this other guy here?
Family guys.
It's Peter Griffin, right? Does he have any trouble holding on to anything? He lets everything go, right? So that's the yin and the yang. And so part of happiness and part of balance is, what are you holding on to? What are you letting go? If an experience is good or bad, the Tao says be grateful for both. One of the worst things that could have happened to my family is we had to leave Cuba and everything behind. We came to this country with $5 per person and a suitcase for the whole family. Starting over. It turned out to be a great thing. I would have never had the wonderful kids I have, right? To me, that's like my heart. Of course, an acute man doesn't hurt either. So the Tao Poo is all about creating a stronger, more effective template for handling life's challenges and joys. And sometimes we hold it together until there's some good event, and then we fall apart. It's almost like finishing a finish line, crossing a finish line. At the same time, joy is sometimes such a moving experience. It's one of the few times if we're emotionally a little exhausted that we allow ourselves feel. And so then all the other stuff comes up. Now, so the way, as you had said so well, and you too, ma'am. So now this is who I stole it from, the Tao of Pooh, the official one. While Eeyore frets and Piglet hesitates and Rabbit calculates and Owl pontificates, Pooh just is, right? And it's hard to just be. So now I'm going to challenge you to be still for 2 hot seconds. Ready? Still your mind. And then I'm going to ask you who got in the way. Ready? Set. Om. Okay, what got in the way? I tried to be distracting. What got in the way? Oh, you guys are all the Buddha. Congratulations. Nothing got in the way. But for people lesser than you, what would have gotten in the way? What is it? Our thoughts, because they can be so inconvenient, can't they? What else can get in the way of us having a moment of peace? The light? Our phones? What else? Children? Oh, yes. What else? I heard someone say men. Yes. What else? Caffeine. And listen to that wonderful hum in the room. Ready? Listen to it. It's so annoying, isn't it? And I think it's perfect for school social workers, because don't you have to live an annoying hum at the back of every day, don't you? That right? And don't you just love a public PA? That sound? Okay. So here's the mission. I'm going to torture you today with what's happiness, what's crisis and stress, practice some humor as crisis management, and you're going to leave this section with a personal action plan, and you're going to tell your humor buddy it's one thing you're willing to do to be able to be one with the universe, all right? To handle crisis with humor. So now, who are these guys? All right, they were my daddy's favorites. I love my daddy. He was great. He died when he was 94. When he was dying, I put this together for him. In Spanish, it was the skinny one and the fat one. Not so PC, right? And what's the music? Bob Marley, which I love, but my father hated because of the marijuana. Okay. You know how Cubans say "dot" in front of everything? So I put this together for him in one of his last days, and I had it on my little laptop, and I'm here at the hospital minding my own business, right? And he's hooked up to all these monitors. All the nurses come running in because he's beep, 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 and he's crying, he's laughing so hard. And I got in trouble. But my father really enjoyed it. All right, so what is happiness? It cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, although cute shoes help, don't they? April, come here, come here. Okay. And then, does anyone else have red shoes, please? Okay, all right, ready? Ready? Okay, look. Red shoes. Okay. I'm just saying.
Well, I I used to say I was a shoe with the nasty woman, but now my friends tell me I have to say I'm a shoe queen.
Shoe queen. I think, oh. Well, thank you for sharing. All right. So it can't be worn, but it helps sometimes. Or consumed. Happiness is a spiritual experience of living every day with love, grace, and gratitude. When I was grumpy when I was a kid, my mother would say, "What are you complaining about? Go thank someone." She'd also say if we were bored, "Good, I got something to clean." I learned never to be bored. All right? It's all in the attitude. Okay, now, so what gets in the way of happiness? We talked about some of the, what gets in the way? Now, this is a mug I put together for a bunch of Catholic nuns. I do little retreats that I call the pink shoe retreats for prayer. The other ones I call red shoe. And I teach them about making and praying rosaries and how to teach other people in a more fresh, lively, everyday way, right? So I had this on the mug with some words that weren't polite, so I cleaned it up for you guys. So this is what I think gets in the way. Luck. Sometimes we're born with bad luck, yes, no? No. We make our own luck, and it just happens, right? So if you're born in the worst of cases, you make the best of it, right? It's the gift we're given. Life always gets in the way. Love can be wonderful and awful, right? I got it right this time around, I think. I'll let you know. My husband and I together have been married 60 years, so you should count up all the weddings. We'll see how we're doing now. Money. Bad hair days, I know. Attitude, ours and sometimes other people. I mean, how is it that one look can ruin our day? Right? How is it? So turn around real quick and give someone a cheesy grin. It costs nothing. And it also burns calories and it reduces chins. I'm working on that. Okay. All right, so what motivates you to change? All right? Some people change when they see the light, some when they feel the heat. So now here's the test I ask. If you've done your taxes already, maybe you're motivated by light. If you haven't done them, I think you're a heat person, all right? Do you wait till the last minute? Are you motivated when someone says this is something you have to do, right? So my thing is, how are you setting your own destiny? So I don't know if you remember cartoons, but I watched a lot of cartoons when I was a kid. I learned English watching them, actually. And one of the things I loved about this is so who's the guy with a bad temper? Oh, no, Yosemite Sam, right. And who's the bunny? Oh, we're so bright. Okay, so I love them, and Yosemite Sam was going to inherit a lot of money if he could spend the night with Bugs Bunny and be nice for a whole night. You could see he couldn't do it, right? He just couldn't get that million. So now, we all know the physical signs of stress, right? And I love this picture of the zebra. I think it's stress, right? We all lose our stripes from time to time. So headache, tummy ache, tired, body ache, immune system, sleep too much, not enough, tense, rashy, not in the mood. Emotional signs, all stressed out and no one to choke. My favorite, when my daughter used to be mad at me, she'd do this. You know, squeezing my head, and I'd go, missed, you know. It's all in how you handle it, right? And I when in doubt, do the pony, so I do the pony. All right, so overwhelmed, angry, sad, anxious. It sounds like every day, right? Trouble focusing, loss of libido, and the exits are looking good, all right? Find a way to leave. We can see it in someone's mood by how they walk, right? Ambrose was having a bad day, and he didn't care who knew it. He was walking like this. Sometimes we're the last to know we are having an Ambrose moment, right? You know, what's our face look like? I mean, my favorite thing is watching people in really big cars. They are so powerful, they're sure we can't see them, right? So I have these horrible faces, and they do this nose pick thing. What's up with that? And I have to tell you, people see you wherever you are. They feel you, all right? Now, just as proof of that, this side of the room, send this side of the room love for one moment. Okay, ready? Send them love. You feel it? All right, now this side of the room, send them grumpy thoughts. Ready? Now, how do you feel? Was that fair? Did you repel it? The power of humor repels you, right? Okay. Okay, now, let's make it up to them. Send them the love. Let them feel the love. Ready, set, go. Even if we don't know someone is sending us a good thought or bad thought, we can feel it, right? The universe is huge. It's grace. Now, can we hide our pain? Sure. We're all polite. We can hide it. What's resilience? You guys know it. You're still here. What's resilience? So what's resilience, guys?
Bouncing back.
Bouncing back. Perfect. You read my... Being stronger. It's using yucky stuff to make us stronger. And I love the martial arts, and the best swords are forged by the hottest fires, right? And you guys are the best of swords, aren't you? So it's about how we handle... My friend Ed Dunkelblau. Where's Jody? Okay, good. Jody knows Ed Dunkelblau. We're part of the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor. And you guys should all belong, because you get all sorts of ideas for how to use humor, and they have sometimes scholarships. It's awesome, all right? So it's about how we handle a slice of life, whether it's coming to this country, or being here this morning, or your room didn't work out well, whatever it is. A child, you can't save them today. Maybe they'll have to be saved another year by another school social worker. Bring it to the future to help heal ourselves and others. I believe anything that happens is a gift. And so when I was a little kid and I got beat up by the little Americans who hit really hard, my mother used to, I would come home crying. My mother said that was Jesus. And I thought, okay, don't like that, dude. And she said, no, show them who you are. Show them who you are. Teach. So I learned to be funny and fast. And she would always ask, so what did you learn and what did you teach? Right? So any yucky moment, what did you learn? What did you teach? Now you're doing that every day anyway, right? The hardest thing to learn from those is when we're disappointing. And the one thing I know is that we're all awful and wonderful. Both, every day. And we have to, we're what my mother used to say, one bite of the apple away from perfection. Some of us too, but you know. This is the face of resilience, right? Bounce back. Facing a crisis, can we click our ruby reds and just make it go away? I wish we could. I'd like my fairy wand.
You know, when I was 19, Becca took me on a roller coaster. Up, down, up, down. Oh, what a ride.
What a great story.
I always want to go again. No, it was just interesting to me that a ride could make me so frightened, so scared, so sick, so excited, and so thrilled all together. Some didn't like it. They went on a merry-go-round. I just go around. Nice. I like the roller coaster. Get more on.
All right, so I love that clip. Who here actually prefers a merry-go-round? You know, there's such prejudice against merry-go-rounds. All I could say is, I know you're out there. And the issue is sometimes we don't need the roller coaster. You are the roller coaster. So, I mean, you guys have such character, such personality. You walk in a room, maybe you are the roller coaster. Why is it so hard for us to admit in a clip like this that shows prejudice against roller coasters? We're hating, against merry-go-rounds, right? And in lots of different ways, we tell ourselves and everyone in our lives, and they tell us what's acceptable and what isn't, right? Yes? So ask yourself, do their words really matter? What do you think counts? Now, I like a merry-go-round. I think they're kind of cute.
It's no big deal. Probably not even quicksand. I'm gonna have a good laugh about this, and I'm the guy. Well, this is just. Why someone in the face, mother? That stupid jump go up.
All right, so this clip was sent to me by a soldier who had lost 3 limbs. I know, but his wife always says when I tell the story, I told him I'd give him credit, she wants me to say, and there are no kids in the room, right? She wants me to, don't worry, her favorite one was not harmed. Just life is good. But he apparently became a much better man after his injury. And he's a better husband and a better father, and he's a happier human being. So he sent that to me. If you have good clips, I'd love them. I'll give you credit. All right. So the stages of grief, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, you know them, you live them. Sometimes they cycle through in a minute. There's no right order, but she came up with the denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. We face it in ourselves and everyone all the time. Now here are the stressors: school, students, parents, community, professionals, right? We have a professional code that sometimes is impossible to follow, right? And there's not enough energy sometimes to understand how to handle it. So what's a crisis? And it's an wow, it's an opportunity. There's Mr. Dow over here, right? Okay, opportunity. Well, that's all we had. That's the best. Okay, so do we always know when we see it? No. Do we always know it in someone else? Could the person sitting next to you be in crisis? Yeah, because you're really polite, right? So later on this morning, we'll look at body language and verbal language and look at how we know, because we have great instincts, don't we? Now, sometimes we don't listen to those instincts. What does it look like, sound like, feel like? Okay, there is a smell to fear. Animals catch it. If we're paying attention, we catch it too. So we have crisis in the ancient traditions is 2 kanji, danger and opportunity, right? So you say, oh good, another growth experience, yippee. It's hot. I thought it was me. No matter how many degrees you have, you're still human, right? And so one of the things that when I work in my psychology practice or in my speaking or consultation with schools, they think they're hiring me to look at the schools and the kids. I'm actually there to support the adults. That's how I look at it. How do I support everyone in the good work they're already doing and help them work better together? And how do we help people admit that it's okay that they don't have all the answers, right? So I heard school social workers do it better, right? They know all the answers. Is that true? All right.
How do you make things so well?
I think of a man. I take away reason and accountability.
So what movie was that from? As Good as It Gets. And what was that scene? Do you remember? So, yeah. So this is her hero. He writes from a woman's point of view in his stories, right? And he's got obsessive compulsive disorder, and he's stuck in his little room, his apartment. But somehow he seems to be able to channel women, right? So then she said, how do you know about women so much? And that's how he said, you take away reason. And so is that a crisis when we face our hero and realize they were human and less than perfect, right? And so there are 2 types of suffering according to the Tao. Natural, self-created. Let's take a look at the difference, shall we? Natural. When the bluebird of happiness poos on you, you know you're in for a great learning opportunity, right? In the, what's the one, Under the Tuscan Sun? Where the pigeon pooed on her, and then that's a good sign, you can have this house, right? So you never know what yucky stuff turns out to be good, right? Nature, birth, age, pain. We're talking about physical pain and people who are pain in the neck or lower. Illness, death, society, taxes. Self-created. Now, there's nothing wrong with making faces. But if you do it in the public school, you just might get in trouble, right? Self-doubt, to me, is one of the best ways that we create our own stress, our own suffering. Insecurities. Of course we're insecure. None of us are perfect, right? That's why we have grace. Unrealistic expectations for ourselves and others. Harshness for ourselves and others. Untouched fears. Good to talk about them, even if you just write it down. And stupid. It's all around us. Sometimes me, sometimes you, right? Now, name that crisis. Is this self-created or natural? All right. Self-created or natural? Self-created. Why is it self-created? Because you, what?
He let the bug get to me.
He let the bug get to him. All right. He got bugged. All right. Anyone thinks that it's natural? All right. So we can actually make the point that everything is both. Self-created, natural, depends on what we do with it, right? So that was a trick question. All right. Tranquil meals, natural or self-created? All right, so self-created if you serve this at your mother's favorite tablecloth, okay? Or your mother-in-law's worse. Okay, but it's natural that they do it in their own high chair with lots of plastic around them, okay? All right. Child development, natural or self-created? All right. Teens. Now parents bring their teens to me, and so my response is, look, they can't do anything laying down. And look at how much time it takes to do that. So the things you think are so bad actually have a positive, the creativity, the time to maintain it. Regrets. Those were the droids we were looking for. We all have regrets. It's how we deal with them. Fears. I know. My granddaughter said, Leila, that's not nice. I said, yeah, but it's funny. Unexpected sacrifice. We're all carrying people in this room or we wouldn't be here. All right? It's easier for us to take the hit, isn't it? But if someone else takes the hit, it's harder, right? Turf battles. I know that never happens in the Broward County Public Schools. I didn't think so, so it's maybe Miami. Okay, Miami-Dade. Okay. Creativity. There are many faces of creativity, all right? That was a very swift team here. Money, it's all around us. Sometimes we don't have the money to do our jobs well. Crossroads. These are the challenging moments. We have to choose. Now, let me teach you something fun. We're going to work on limit setting and polite shut-ups, okay? So this is something I created with a bunch of police officers that were having a hard time. And later on, I perfected it with lots of other people, and we're still perfecting it, so you can make it better, okay? Who's my rowdy group here? Are you guys the rowdy group? Okay. All right. So you guys are Jerry Springer. You ready? Jerry, 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 Jerry. All right, very good. All right, now get ready. I'm going to slap you all. Ready? Okay, now what do you do in a middle-aged woman with a clicker slaps you if you're on Jerry Springer show? You slap them back. What else? Come on, you're too tame. Bring it. You go on the pole. You do what? You get the audience. You throw the chair. It's not the daddy, right? Okay, so that, call Steve. All right, so that's Jerry Springer. I'm going to count on you to be jerks all day, okay? All right. Now, all of you guys, all the way up to here, are the polite sufferers of the world. These are the polite people in the world, right? Now, I slap you all. Get ready. Okay? Middle-aged woman slaps you. You're polite. What do? What do most people do? Turn the other cheek. That's right. Here, you missed one. Okay. What else? You apologize. Oh, that's better. Are you Catholic? Okay. I'm thinking, one of my people. Okay. So someone slaps you and you apologize. I'm sorry I made you mad. That sounds about right. What else? So what happens later in the day? What happens? I slap you. I call you a name. I tell you your shoes are ugly. Oh, no. Okay. What happens? You get resentment. You don't sleep. You don't eat. You sleep too much, not enough. You have really bad sex or good sex with the wrong person. Something happens, right? I'm just saying. All right. Now, you guys are Yoda, okay? You're my people here. I'm counting on you. Ready? All right. Now, because you're Yoda, I don't have to slap him. It's a psychic slap. Get ready. Okay. 2 questions Yoda asks. What does Yoda ask me? What question does Yoda ask me? I slap you. Okay. Why? Okay, do you feel better? Oh my goodness, no, you belong in the second row. You feel better. Did that help? No, a little masochism goes over here. Okay. What, why? Okay, why, hit me, why did you, right? That's how Yoda would ask me, right? Okay. What question does Yoda ask himself? What is it? How to avoid it? That's one of the questions. Go deeper. What does he ask himself? What's wrong with that person? Okay, so what's wrong with that person, and then how did I contribute in any way? Okay? Did I contribute? Now, maybe I contributed because I called the name, all right? Or I did something, whatever, or you did something, right? Maybe there's just, but maybe there's nothing. Sometimes people are just hating or in their bad mood, right? So, and if I did hit you because you did something wrong with me, what is your obligation? To what? You make it right. All right, you say you're sorry, you make it right, but no one's allowed to hit you, all right? You stop them no matter what. So let's practice something, all right? What would you do? Okay, so I'm not a perfect Catholic. All right. All right, Jerry Springer, what do you do to make this worse in the grocery store? You buy them the candies, thank you very much. What else? You scream back. And what else? What do you say to the dad? You're thick-headed. Put a leash on it. What else? Okay. What do you say? What do you say? Go on the pole. And what do you say to the kid to make this worse? You say, shut up. What else? You give him a spanking. Oh, I love that. Okay. A little bit of abuse goes a long way. Okay, now, my polite, suffering folks, ready? You don't even get your own noise. Did you notice that? You're the polite, neglected. Oh, okay. So, you guys over here. Okay. Okay, oh, what a nice thing. You pick him up. You have to go to you have to go to Yoda, okay? What would most people do in the grocery store? You got this kid having a fit. You give in, okay? So depending on how you give in, you stay at level 2. If it's a violent thing and you're feeding violence, you're actually in Jerry Springer. Depends on how you do it. What else? You strategize, okay? Maybe you have to go to Yoda. You guys are not good at being average. You apologize to everyone around you. Certainly that would work, okay? I'm sorry. Okay, so maybe you give that look like you could have done better, right? That horrible look. You know that look, right? That we're disapproving and you're a horrible father. And maybe you give the kid a look like, sorry you got that dad, kid, you know? So depending on what you do, you add to it. Now, my Yoda-ites, are you ready? Okay. Now, what do you do to make it better? How do you make it better? Bootstrap them? No, go over to Jerry Springer. Bootstrap, I don't think so. How do you make it better? What do you do? Okay, so you put candy in the cart, you take it, oh, you fool him. You got to get the second row. Okay. Is it so hard to be a Yoda? Yes. It is. Because the issue is our hands are sometimes tied by ethics and the laws. We're not normal people, are we? We're in the helping profession, and we're not allowed to help sometimes. And if we help, we get in trouble, right? So the issue is, what's our role? When we're walking around, and are we regular people? No, we're always our professional role, because we're held accountable, aren't we? It's very hard. So I'll give you the best answers I've heard. One soldier actually said, I work with military a lot, one soldier said he would get on the floor too and have a fit, and then the kid would be surprised and be quiet. I thought that was nice. And one woman who is an accountant actually, who knew an accountant could be creative. Now we have a lot of accountant jokes in my family because my youngest daughter just became one. So we're full of them. So what this accountant woman said was that she said to the father, great lungs, he could be an opera singer. So the issue is seeking the best solution is not easy, but with help, with a team, we can always do it. Now, what would you do here?
This is so romantic.
Well, it's about to get a little bit more romantic. A little candlelight.
Oh.
She's got barbecue.
I told you it was Dao poo. Of course, my granddaughter tells me that was pre-poo. Okay. So now you guys here, my Jerry Springers, ready? If you're the woman, how do you react in a way to make it so that he'll never want to surprise you again? What do you say? You jerk, what else? You beat it, oh, I like that. You are really Jerry, what else?
You get his best friend.
You, oh! This is someone who could be in administration. All right, very good. She said you get his best friend. She's thinking at the systemic level. I'm very impressed. Okay. So now my long-suffering polite folks, are you ready, you soundless people? Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. What do you do? What would most women do? This happened. Pretend, if you're a man, pretend you're the man who just got barbecued. What would most people do? It's okay, honey. I like it this way. What else? You apologize. I'm sorry I was sitting here. I'm sorry I'm flammable. Okay, what else? What would most people do? They cry. They hold a resentment. They pretend it's okay. They maybe get too angry. They hold a grudge forever. Isn't the grudge the best way to keep it going? Don't you just love a good grudge? Okay. My mother used to say that when we said we were sorry to each other, that she could look at her face and know that we were really holding a grudge, or if we'd really accepted the apology, if there's true forgiveness, because she said it was on our faces. She also said when we lied, it was showed in our rear end, so we would always be like this with her. You never want to show. So now, Yodaites, what do you do to handle this graciously?
Crack open a bottle and
You crack open a bottle and you do what? And you drink it. All right. What do you do? She's got to be a Jerry Springer. You'd be pissed off and tell. Well, there's nothing wrong with being pissed off and telling people. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're not Yoda. But then what? Feeling is feeling. But what do you do then? It's okay to be angry. Okay, what do you do then, though? You stop what? You stop laughing. Okay. And then you say this is really good with barbecue, right? Okay. Okay, so now there's several choices in response to a crisis according to the Tao. You give in, which is not this group. You escape. You dive in. The two most common choices are to give in. You see them at the counter, right? We've all been tempted to just, and we've all done it. We've all given the kids something just to shut them up, right? Okay. Or escape. Of course, I like Margaritaville. But things are looking up. My cousin Jorgito got in trouble for this in elementary school. Solutions are available. But sometimes they need to be edited. Perhaps it's not the best choice in the school systems. And there's a third choice, which is to dive in, which is what you all do. And certainly the committee put this together has really shown that.
When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim.
And reckless as a school social worker can look like really quickly notice all your obligations and what volunteer things have you taken on. I'm just saying, all right? There is one way to dive in that's reckless and it looks like you're doing good, but you're actually harming yourself. You embrace the crisis. Compassion for others, you guys have that down. You can do it in your sleep. Compassion for yourself, aha, that's the ticket. So, what does this all mean? Sure to give yourselves and everyone else the benefit of the doubt, right? Now that goes on and on, and I just love how hard they both worked, right? The dad was working so hard, and the baby was working hard to please. It takes two to make someone happy, right? Now, sing along. It's a sing along. Happiness in the choices you make. Make good choices. I kept that in because I love it. All right. So the happiness is all around us. So we worked on happiness, yes? We worked on crisis and stress response and definitions. Humor is a crisis management skill. You guys got it. And a personal action plan. Now, here's where I want you to think. Now, what will you do the next time coup hits the fan? Think for a hot second, and then tell the person that's your humor buddy, what will you do the next time using humor to handle a yucky moment? Ready, set, share.
She says, pull our pants down.
It's beautiful.
No disrespect, it actually helps me pay attention.
I don't mind. It's beautiful. It's very nice. All right. So, I love that you're sharing. So be yourself because everyone else is taken. Have a nice break. I'll see you in a bit. Thank you. I already stole your handout. Girl, I'm ahead of you.
Mira, listen to her. I'll send you the PowerPoint.
We just met, but we hit it off.
We're like,
I can tell.
on your picture with the kid covered and everything,
Yeah.
my oldest, when my middle one, no, it was Desitin. He goes, Mommy, what did he say? Mommy paint, Mommy something, you know, and I go in and the baby is covered in Desitin, so I clean him up because that stuff doesn't come off. My mom comes over, she picks him, she says, he smells like fish.
I guess it's like
going, well, and I promise you, he smelled like fish for 3 days. Like, oh. So,
did you get a picture of it?
No.
You know, we never do.
No, because I'm going,
You know,
what the hell do I do?
we never do. My daughter, there was a deathly silence in the universe at 3 in the morning. This is Kate. And she had this beautiful golden, black, white kind of towhead for a Cuban. It's like a miracle, right? Really gorgeous hair. And there was a silence, a disturbance of the forest. 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I whisper to myself. I go into the bathroom, and there she is with a scissor, and her hair's cut all over. And I didn't think to take a picture of it. And she did a pretty good job. I said, she really did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Do you have an IT person that does your, or did you do all this?
So he's my marketing. Well, you know what? It was like 40 or 50 pounds ago in a cruise, but I thought it was a good enough picture. And to get rid of chins. So when we take a picture, my sister and I do this. So I get rid of the chins. Here, do it real fast. Do it to me now.
Okay.
We're
gonna be on YouTube. You do know that.
Okay again.
Yeah.
And they made it's almost like their lives ended. And we're waiting for Castro to leave. We're waiting to go back to Cuba. They would then begin to spin stories about how everything was perfect. So I saw early on people make choices.
You're so absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, you've made the same choice, I can see.
Yes.
As my mother would say, you show it in your face too.
Thank you. Yes, because crisis, you know, I like that. It's an opportunity.
It is an opportunity.
And I never knew I was seizing the opportunity when so many ultimate crises hit my life. I never even knew I was seizing the opportunity. But by the grace of the Lord, you know.
Well, you were.
It's absolutely by His grace. So I love that, and I love that. I really, and self-created crises are there. And
isn't that amazing? And when I looked at the Tao stuff, I thought, isn't this cool how simple they present it? Right. We have 3 choices. And that just made it easier when I realized that. Because sometimes I get stuck thinking it's so complicated, but it's just not.
It's not.
It's a matter of every moment's a choice.
Yes. I'm glad I'm here and to have had you to.
Well, and I'm glad, and thank you for coming.
Yes, truly.
And I'll have to get me this beautiful pink. Thank you.
It's a matter of choice every day. I've been saying it, but it has been reinforced.
Right.
Because I do say to my students all the time, life is a series of choices you make.
It is.
Every day we are faced with opportunities to make choices.
Absolutely.
But it's reinforced to me because I've been giving it and not receiving it sometimes. But today I've had it. I've got it.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you for that. I think many of us, give it all the time and don't get it back.
Take it, and we don't take it for ourselves.
And you can see it in some of their faces that they are just such good people.
Yes, absolutely.
They do wear it. Well, thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
The videos and stuff.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much.
Everybody.
And you're with the Chrysalis Center.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wonderful. I've worked with a lot of kids who you've helped.
Yes.
Very good job. Very nice. And thanks for the nice feedback.
No worries.
Appreciate it.
It's wonderful.
All right, thanks. Yes, hi.
Hi, my name is Lucia.
Hi, Lucia.
I see that you use a lot of images with soldiers and families,
Yes.
and you are very committed to that. We
Yes.
have a non-profit organization in the school system.
What's the name of it?
We have Embracing Military Personnel and Families program.
Do you have your card or
I don't have it
brochure?
here, but I would like to write you.
Oh, I'd love to.
We are going to have the proclamation, the school board has been very, very supportive.
Good.
And we are going to have a proclamation day in which they are going to También we're going to try someone from the Southern Command that they are in communication to make sure that they receive that. Because April is the month of the literature.
That's wonderful. I'm part of the Yellow Ribbon speaking cadre, and so just many weekends of every month, I go and speak to the different groups, pre, mid, or post deployment. Sometimes it's just to the service member, sometimes sometimes with a family member and the kids. So it's wonderful to the school. So many, especially with the Guard and Reserve, the kids don't get much support. Sometimes they're the only one in the school whose mom or dad is gone. Please, you don't have anything with your name on it? I would really love to find out more about what you're doing. And I don't have any cards on me. I have them. You know what? On the table, those little cootie catchers, it has my website. Okay. Please, and on there you can get my email.
Go to the Army Resource. So I work with Charlie Company.
Charlie Company of which group?
Charlie Company, the one that now moved to Fort Lauderdale.
You're talking about Army?
National Guard.
Oh, National Guard. Army Guard? Army Guard, okay.
I started with the unit that is located in Dixie, it's the Alpha unit. It's located in Hollywood.
In Hollywood, Dixie and what?
Dixie and Half.
I know where that is.
In the corner.
I know where that is. It's near my church. I go to Nativity.
Okay.
Right.
We have, for years, we work on that unit. We put together once the city, some kind of support, and we continue to have that. We prepare the part of the deployment,
There's Operation Military Kids, Military One Source. Have you checked out their website? Okay, so Military One Source is like the portal. It's like the best website. You can go through that, you can go to everything. So if a kid needs to talk to an MFLAC, if a family needs anything with benefits, it's all there. And Operation Military Kids does programs and have some summer camps, and I believe that they're all free for these kids. And they'll also go, including what's the ESGR, I forget what it stands for, the employment people. So if the Guard families are having trouble with their employers, there's an award you can give, and they also will be glad that almost all veterans, the ESGR people, and they'll come to the business and make smooth the problem because they're gone for so long, right? Used to be 1 week in a month, no, not so much now, right? They're gone for long chunks of time. Oh, how wonderful. So it's Romero. Thank you. Thank you very much. But do email me. I'd love to help. Let's talk. You what? You what? I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know you guys were doing that. In fact, as soon as I'm done today with my second presentation, I'm rushing to Miami International Airport. There's a group, I think it's Coast Guard in Tampa, that I'm going to talk to. So just about every weekend. I know, it's so nice.
I go in the army, I bring food for them.
That is so nice.
That's the best way to go.
Well, perhaps there's a way I can help. That would be nice. All right. Thank you, Lucia. Thank you very much. I put the military pictures there so that people can see. It's the awareness. Are you? Wow.
He said, Mommy, promise me that you will always visit the soldiers.
That's nice.
That's my mission.
Is he part of any of the wounded warfighter groups?
No, he was the PTSD.
PTSD, right. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, they can get over that.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes some effort, but they can get over that.
7 years after I saw it. And I was not there.
But see,
I saw things that I was not aware because he lived far away. He lived in Arizona.
Wow.
He was independent and he was deployed.
So is he talking to somebody about his PTSD? Okay, good. Good, I'm glad.
He's now crisis every time, but now he was at one time in medication, and the medication didn't go well with him.
He needs to talk to other soldiers.
That's why
and there are so many groups where he could do that. And is he going back to school? Is he? There's so many military benefits. So one way to heal it when he can is to go back to school, get more education. Then he's with other people.
Business administration. He went his formation from college.
Well, good.
He finished his career, so he was working in Allstate. He has a very good position in Allstate.
Well, good for him.
manage
Well,
with all these crises.
Well, every Sunday I do a rosary for all the service members, so I'll keep him in mind. What's his name?
Esteban.
Esteban. I'll keep him in my prayers then.
And it's a name that came from a history that I read, a book from Cuba.
Really? What was that?
Esteban. Esteban was a very good man in that history, and I just called that name. And
It's a beautiful name. Well, thank you. I look forward to talking more. Very nice. Hi. How are you? A pleasure.
I was so busy trying to get some message across. That's why
Is she okay? I'm sorry she's ill.
Yes, but you're so good.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. If it's not fun, why do it? I mean, so much of what we do isn't fun. So it's something like this, it better be, right?
Yes.
So you guys are a hoot.
Yes, thank you.
I was very impressed with how much effort everyone puts into stuff. Oh, that's okay.
I want to give you a hug.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know, am I allowed to do that?
Yes, you
I'm
are.
crossing boundaries here.
Yes, but do it again. It was very nice. And your name is Sherry?
I'm Sharika Johnson. Marcel.
Marcel?
I registered late.
Well, I tease when someone doesn't have a name tag, they get to pick who they want to be today.
Oh, I like that.
So who do you want to be today?
Marilyn Monroe.
All right. Woo! Oops. We got a Marilyn. Walk this way. That's your story?
It's my story.
With the prejudice and all?
Yes. Not mine. Speech class. Because I didn't know what TA sound. And then I saw and then there was a bunch of retarded children. I said, what is that retarded children? I said, they look good, fine to me. How old were you? I was 11. Wow. Yeah, from Haiti. That's tough age, too. Yes.
That is a tough age.
Yes,
Well, I'm glad you made it out. You got rescued. Well, I got rescued, so that was good. Now, my mother tells me it was just a few days I was in there, but to me it was forever. I do too. Isn't she great? She was my mother's a character and a half, and my father too, I have to say. I lucked out. No, we lost her some time ago. Yeah. But I'm an old broad, so, it would be amazing if my parents were still alive. So.
You pray for her because I can see your mother through you.
Well, I carry my mother with, in fact, my mother gave me this when I became a citizen, in middle school I became a citizen. She gave me this, so I always wear it. I keep her with me. Isn't that beautiful? It's my pseudo real bling, right? As my daughter puts it, genuine CZs. Yeah. And you have to make a wish because your catch is right here. Make a wish. Are you ready? And then we move it, and then we have to pat it. Okay.
Can I show something too?
Sure. What you got?
I have a book called My Body is Special and Belongs to Me. And basically, in a nutshell, it's a conversation all parents want to have with their children but are afraid to have.
This is wonderful. Did you write this?
Yes. Myself and my partner, not partner, but my business partner, Sally Merritt. People always get confused. I'm like, you know what? I don't want a kid or whatever. I don't care. I could be gay. In fact, I'm looking for my fourth husband. No, it's kidding. My second. But all joking aside, we have a foundation called Kids Safe. We teach sexual abuse prevention education.
What a beautiful book.
This came out of out of our lesson on safe and unsafe touch. We do not use good touch, bad touch, thank God. We got to get people on the right page about the language. But that's me, that's my daughter.
That's really beautiful.
But the idea is, the premise is...
And you got a kid in a wheelchair too.
Yeah, we really tried to do. And a 15-year-old actually drew these illustrations in Coral Springs. We're very locally open.
Lots of different cultures.
Yeah. But the idea is the conversation. The idea is that we want to open those lines of communication between those parents and those children.
Well, where can I buy one?
You can get it on my website. I'll give you our information.
Okay, please do.
And
I'll put it on my website as a resource. I'm just rebuilding my website, and I'll put it on there.
A lot of parent education. We actually
I do too. That's wonderful.
Okay,
Yeah.
we were requested. You mentioned this, and that's what got my attention. We were requested by CBIS, the investigator, to come and train their sexual abuse prevention.
Congratulations. You made it. That's good.
Really?
So you're making a huge...
Sad, but they're all going to get 10 copies.
And you're
if we get
making
the
a big
grant, if we get the
difference.
grant, we're going to get 10 copies of this book that they can actually share with the families that they're working with.
Well, I would like you to train police officers too, the ones who go.
Well, BSO has given us a grant. We already used it, so I know Al by face at this point. So
Well, this is really
Hopefully he'll
beautiful.
get reelected so I can continue having that relationship with him. Let me give you my information.
Conversation starters.
So it's www.email or website?
It's a website.
And you answer to them? You answer to them? Somebody else.
It's me. I'll tell everyone my email. What is this?
Penny bid. You know, penny for an iPad. And if it goes for $30, it's the last one.
I have it. Is that okay? Okay. Well, good. Okay. You want me to start now? All right. Welcome back. I hope you had a nice break. There were some amazing vendors. I've been excited about a few things with this group besides that this is a great group. Many of you are doing amazing things, amazing causes. As you can see, I don't mind noise. As you can see, I have a video crew here today. And so it's a good chance also for you guys to tell me what you're interested in and about your groups as well. So I hope I can get verbal agreement with you all to be on video, if that's okay. If you're having a bad hair day, don't worry. You're not alone. You'll be good. And if you have a real issue with it, please let me know. Yeah. In the Witness Protection Program, we'll block you out with a happy smiley face. That'll be good. All right. So welcome back. I'm very touched to... Oh, I see. That was me. I'm thinking, what was that noise? That was me. Don't you hate when that happens? Now we're going to talk about communication aikido. Obviously, you guys are skilled communicators because you've survived and you're still smiling. But let's play with communication just a little bit. Who knows what communication aikido is? And it's a term I phrase just for the heck of it. What is aikido? It's a martial art. What is it? It's the way of what? The way of peace. So here's our Tao master. Oh, okay. The way of peace. And how is karate different than aikido? What's the difference? No aggression, all right. And so, all right, so aikido is about using someone's energy. If you come at me, all right, so except for you're blocking. So in aikido, you'd be pushing me back, right? You have to be a little more aggressive. You deflect and you push so that you don't let anyone's yuckiness hit you, right? So you push it past and you use it. You channel their negative energy for the greater good. Right? So that's communication aikido. So this is what you're stuck doing with me now. Exploring communication aikido, playing with nonverbal communication. I create a little quiz. Improving your listening mojo. You're already terrific listeners, so it should be fun. And again, a personal action plan. You leave telling your partner, your humor buddy, one thing you're willing to do to use humor in communication the rest of the day, the month, year, whatever you want to commit to. All right, so now this is a quiz I created. I stole the idea from Dr. David Matsumoto, who is not only a psychologist, but he's an Olympic coach for wrestling. All right, so he noticed that people have funky smiles, and he was looking at pictures, and he noticed almost always who was the winner and who wasn't by looking at the faces, right? Now that's not earth science, right? I mean, we could figure that out. Now the Duchenne smile is something from the Renaissance period. So he used this term. Now, Which one here is the genuine smile? A Duchenne smile is the genuine. Which one's the genuine? A, Y, oh boy. Why A? The eyes, what about the eyes? All right, they're engaged. Is there anything else that would let you think that A is the one? You were right, by the way. You were oh so right. Like I'm shocked, right? The whole face is involved. Now, anyone who's been to a shotgun wedding knows that the pictures look great. But if you're at a happy wedding, no one has eyes. And so that's why photographers take 2 sets of pictures, right? So the blessing I give everyone is may your wedding require 2 sets of photos. Aww, okay. So let's see what you know. What are the 7 basic universal emotions? Dun, 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 what are they? What is it? Happiness, sadness, anger, fear. Boy, you guys are good. You must be social workers. What else? Guilt. No, that's just you and me. Okay, what else? Surprise. Gosh, you guys, you're the best group so far. And one more. Scared. That works. Okay, so let's look at them. Anger, happiness, sadness. We get those pretty common, right? Surprise, disgust, fear. There's a word in Spanish, me da asco. Ooh, you're grossed out by something. I love that. Asco. Doesn't it sound like disgust? Okay. And the last is contempt. One of the things that I've noticed is people, and I work a lot with wounded people, including warfighters. The easiest emotion in the world of all of these is what? Anger. It's the easiest one. Now, as behavioral scientists, we all know that anger is never the first or real emotion. It's the secondary one, right? So you ask yourself, what's behind it? So let's see what you guys know. With contempt, it's almost impossible to come back from contempt with the relationship. But you're part of a system that's a government system, so you know about coming back from contempt, don't you? Okay. So what percentage of communication is nonverbal? 55, and some people say as high as 75, right? Okay. So anyone who's been in an argument with a woman knows it's not what you said, it's how you said it, right? In fact, the FBI, social services, they know that women tend to, whether it's nature or nurture, be more comfortable in identifying people's feelings. Now we know men can learn that because men can be just as smart as women, I hear, right? It's a rumor. I won't say that out loud too much. Not too many men, I can take you. Okay. Okay, so now in the Olympics, who do you suppose is the most unhappy smiler? Gold, silver, or bronze? Bronze, okay. Why bronze? Because they didn't win. Does anyone else have another choice? Silver. Why silver? Who said silver? Okay, because they were that close. I mean, the bronze is going, hey, I made it. I'm not 4, right? And then the first loser is silver, right? So now who here won the silver? Look at their faces. Look at their smiles. Who won? A, B, or C? B. This is A here. B, C. C? Are you sure? A, B, C. It's C. Right? It's that polite. Okay, and it's like when people are like at the Oscars and they don't get it and the camera's on them, they go, you know. We're at church and they're giving someone an award and you know, you didn't get it? Okay. Who won the silver here? Who's the most unhappy smiler? The one in the middle, B? Okay, why B? Okay, why A? It just doesn't look happy? So, okay, who votes for A? Who votes for B? Who votes for A? All right. Who votes for B? And someone's blind. Who votes for C? Okay. All right. It is A. Now, I got this one wrong because look at this guy. He's got this sour grapes gun thing happening, right? Like the pulling the trigger. Goes to show that maybe 10 colors or something, you know. You never know about gestures. And they're different gestures. You've been hearing in the news. Sometimes this is stop. Sometimes it's welcome or hello. I mean, gestures in different cultures, right? But you can't really tell by looking at someone, right? Sometimes. Let's see how you're doing pretty well so far. All right, who's the most unhappy smiler? A, B, B, or CC? AA. AA? All right. Do we have any other choices? Is it AA? CC. All right. Now, if you notice, this is also a test of visual acuity and intelligence, because I didn't cover them up. So you can see that it's bronze, gold, and silver. I'm just saying. But what happens is I got you used to just look at the face, right? And that's what happened to us. We start looking at the one thing and then we don't look at the rest of it, right? We lose focus. So I did that to trick you, and you know, it's always fun. Okay. So now, and you were right, it was AA. You guys are so smart. Okay. So now, the smile again, shortest distance between two people. Make a cheesy, genuine smile to the people at your table. Ready, set, cheesy grin. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to do an exercise. Are you ready? In your table groups, I want you on the count of 3, point to one person that you want to tell 2 true facts and 1 false fact, and then you're going to see if that person's a good liar, okay? Or if you're good at guessing now. So 1, 2, 3, on the count of 3, and see how many people point to you at your table or whoever. You'll be the liar. Okay, ready, set, 1, 2, 3, point. All right, do you have your liar set up? You're the liar? Aha. All right, raise your hands. Who are my liars? Who are my liars? Is that you? Raise your hand. If you're a liar, raise your hand. Okay, now I'm noticing a trend. There's very few men, all 3 men here got chosen as the liars. You know, I went to a baby shower the other day and someone told me a joke. How do you know when your husband's lying? He's moving his lips, right? That's bad. Okay. I really don't dislike men. It's just fun to pick on them. Okay. I think men are lovely human beings. Okay. So now, the chosen liar in every group, here's your task. Take a hot moment to think 3 facts. 2 of them have to be true about yourself, and make them things people would know, right? Like, for instance, let me do it real fast with you, okay? I have a twin sister. I have 6 grandchildren, and I have 2 black belts. Which one's the lie? 6 grandchildren? Twin sister? Could you tell by the way I said it? Am I a good liar? I do have I already said I had a twin sister, right? Okay. And I do have 6 grandchildren, and I only have 1 black belt. I love it. All right. So now, ready, set, think if you're the liar, the chosen liar, because what we're doing is helping you pay attention to the tells. When you're listening to someone, how do you know they're uncomfortable? Lying is just an exaggerated way of looking at it, because our job is to help each other, support each other, right? So how do you know? So each appointed liar, 2 facts that are true, 1's false. Ready, set, talk, and lie. Are you done? Did you fool them? Did you fool them?
Yes.
Half? All right. I have faith in you. Who's the liar? How'd you do? You pulled him? Who's the liar? Who's the liar?
Well,
How'd you do? I'm proud of you. You're a good liar. Did you fool them all? Okay, very good. I'll give you half a minute to finish up. Well, he is a man.
Yeah.
Who's the liar? Who's the liar here? You're the liar? How'd you do? Oh. You're not good? I'm proud of you. Yeah. I'm a terrible liar. Alrighty then. So, of my liars, who stumped the table? Who fooled everybody? Raise your hand. Let me see my good liars. Higher education does help with sociopathy. This is good. I know. Who else? Who else are my liars? Let me see. Did you stump them? Oh, and you look so sweet. Okay, good. I'm proud of you. Now, how come you stumped them? How come they didn't know you were lying? What'd you do?
I put the lie first.
Ah, she put the lie first because then you hide it by being uncomfortable, right? A good technique. Keep that in mind. Okay. Who else? Who else stumped the chumps? You did. Oh, I know that. Higher education. All right. So what's your technique? What'd you do? She told the lie first. You know, you guys have good strategies. All I can say, good frontal lobes. All right. Who else? How did our men do? You stumped them, right? Oh, we know you did. Yeah. So you surprise them all? No. Oh, he's not a good liar, but he's young. Give him time. How about you?
He's just one person only got the lie right that he told.
Really? That's pretty good. Who got it? How'd you know? Because you're because she's a liar too. All right. So throughout this program here, we're going to ask you to pay attention to what are the tells. How do you know someone's comfortable or telling the truth or holding something back, right? Because this is how we can support each other in times of stress. Now, school life, is this the perfect picture of school life? Is that what it looks like? I know. Or is it really this? All right, peaceful, happy people all around you. And you're just eager to get to work every day. I know because you're paid so much money. I get it. All right. Aww. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Aww. Now, some communications are guaranteed to go well, aren't they? I mean, isn't that why we love animals? Animals and babies, you know, they just come up to you and they're going to be real, right? Okay, my granddaughter comes up to me and goes, Lila, and she holds on to me and it just makes my day, you know? All right, so now, and some communications, as with humans, are not so simple, correct? You may have noticed. I'm not mad at you. I need a hug. So what are you waiting for? Hug me. Now, not everyone's so direct, right? And some people say, how are you? Fine. So you're supposed to ask? Are you supposed to not? Right? So one of the things we look at is how do we keep people from supporting us? How do we love block, right? People show us love. Now, not everyone who asks you how you're doing, how are you doing? Maybe because I'm after your job and I want to know you're not doing well, right? So you have to know why people are asking, right? Okay. So now, sometimes we're conflicted. We're on the outs. I always like Spider-Man. Now, I don't know if you've seen my nose. I have a big cut on it. When I first came to this country, I was reading comic books, and Spidey was my favorite. Still is, quite frankly. And I thought that I could climb buildings. I did really well, but gravity won. And so sometimes we're conflicted, and it's hard to be odd guy out, right? Sometimes our relationships are close, right? Whether it's in your working environment or your table groups or the half of the room or your district or not. I'm just saying, I've been part of the system, I know. Sometimes we're stricken, either because of our own pain or someone else's pain. And sometimes we're just out of sync. Whether we're the ones out of sync because we believe in truth, justice, and the American way, and everyone else is lying and cheating, or because we're out of sync because we've lost our mojo temporarily. Now, when we lose our mojo, those are great opportunities, and Lisa's going to talk to you about that. I love her talking. I'm so sorry I'm going to miss it. I have to leave straight afterwards to go and talk to a bunch of Coast Guard guys who just came back from deployment. It is, and they're cute too, so that'll be good. And in our work environment, we're full of joy. There are people all around us that you just can't wait to see their faces. Are you that one? I'm sure you are. Now, let's use humor to set limits, okay? I'm going to practice with you guys. 3 levels of anger and polite shut-ups. We already did that. I'm going to ask you rude questions, okay? And then we're going to practice different tables response, trying to keep this at the level 3 first, be mean, and then level 1, the Yoda. We're not going to practice in between. In between is where we are most every day anyway, right? We don't need any practice, do we? No, I don't think so. Okay. So, how much money did your suit cost? That's a rude question, right? Was that rude enough? I'm starting gentle. Be careful. All right. How much did your suit cost? Now, what would be a level 3 response to that? None your business. I love none ya, right? Okay, that works. Okay, now help them out now. What's a Yoda response to that? How much did your outfit cost? More than enough? That's a good answer, isn't it? Okay. So I used to be an HIV researcher, and people would ask, so are you positive? And I'm thinking, what? They're asking me if I'm HIV? That's quite a question. Thanks for asking. Okay, so if I ask a question, are you positive? How do you set limits first now, level 3? Are you HIV positive? How do you answer that question in a rude way? Be rude. None of your business. What else?
Most of the time.
None of your business. Yes. Would you like to go out on a date? Okay. I'd like to share. Okay. So now, how do you handle that it's a cruel question, actually. How do you handle that question in a polite way? I have faith in this table. So, are you positive yet? Help me understand why you're asking. She's Yoda, right? Okay, snaps for her, snaps. Okay. Show her the love, snaps. Okay, I saw Legally Blonde. Okay. All right. Now, what else? Give me another Yoda response. Most of the time. Okay. So they say, are you positive most of the time? They reframed it. It's a red shoe reframe, isn't it? Yes, I am positive, right? Just like they ask different questions. I mean, I go to this gay networking group, and it always shocks me. They ask me, are you gay? And I'm thinking, that's an interesting question. I'm so happy, thank you. I mean, they don't need to know if I'm gay or not, do they? It's kind of personal. All right. Now, what rude questions do you get asked every day? Give me some samples. How old are you? Give me a level 3 response to that. How old are you? 16? Oh, you liar, you? Okay. I think you can always go for a straight lie with it. And that's actually not bad, because she answered it with a joyful smile and a lie that was clear. That was a very good deflection. She is the Yoda master. Okay, very good. So, how do you answer that in a rude way? Not as old as you. Jerry. That was perfect. It's always the ones with the sweet faces. Okay, so we're practicing some polite shut-ups, right? The whole point is people ask you questions, you don't have to answer it. So now I'm going to ask the question no one ever wants to be asked. Will you be president of the next Broward County School Social Work? How do you answer that question? Okay, so what would be a polite way other than hell no? Okay, so I asked you, will you be the next president? How about you guys are in the back, you're so good at exits, I know you want to be. Which one of you wants to be the next president of this organization? Oh, she gave me a cheesy grin, that was perfect. Okay. And then she did something smart. She just looked at everyone else. like I'm not going to notice. Okay. So how do you want to answer that politely?
I will say that even if I would love to, I think it has to go through a democratic process and everyone should choose one. Okay, I would love to have my name so you can, and be one of the names maybe that you choose, right? But then everyone else has to vote or choose.
Okay, so you're actually saying yes. And what is your name? Okay. Okay. But that was very good. So she said, now the problem is, how often do we say yes when we really want to say hell to the no, right? Okay. So the issue is, how do you say no? Can I borrow $10,000, please? I have a really great fund, and I need money.
Let's go rob a bank.
Let's go rob a bank. Okay, humor always works. What else? How about you guys? Can I borrow $10,000? It's a really good cause. How about what? How about I borrow 15 from you and you take 10? All right, she's negotiating. All right. Can I borrow money from you? Yes, ma'am. Ms. Jody? Can I borrow $10,000 for you? It's for a great fund.
I have the zeros, but I don't have any more.
Oh! She's going to donate the zeros. Okay. That's very good. Now, some of my favorite answers that are Yoda level 1 Yodas, go like this. They're Miss Manners. I don't know if anyone's read that column. I steal from the very best. And I'm sorry I won't be able to see Lisa's talks. I want to steal from her and April too. I mean, I've missed the opportunity to steal from y'all. Okay, well good, because then you got to tell me what you stole and then I'll steal back. Okay. So one of my favorites is, oh, thank you so much for asking. And you don't answer. Right? Thanks for asking. Or, you know, that's really a great question. Thanks. You know, and so people ask me, so how many times have you and your husband been married? And I always laugh and say, well, you know, I don't know. And then I sound like I have Alzheimer's, right? So the answer is, if you're avoiding questions and you give an excuse, you end up looking either stupid or like you don't love yourself, or now you volunteer to be president, right? So the issue is, how do we deal with our guilt and pressure to be helpful, since we're all in the helping profession, right? Okay. And the main issue is to know what is your job. So here's my standard. If you have enough time to take good care of yourself, your family, and thank God for everything that we have in this amazing world, then maybe you have time to volunteer. And if you don't, you don't. Anyone with really small kids, you're excused. All right? Anyone who's got a sick life partner, you're excused. And you have to do a new template is, when are you not going to be helpful? Because how many times do we join, like I was going to be president of this the AATH. I was going to maybe be president. Okay, they asked me to be. But then I got sick that year. And I did something that they'd never heard before. They didn't think it was funny, by the way. I said, I'm sick, I won't be able to do as good a job as I want, I'll pass, I'll do it some other time. Right? I said, no. So let's practice. 1, 2, 3. No. Thanks for asking. Thanks for asking. How kind of you to notice. Okay. So those are polite shut-ups. Now, I took a poll of a bunch of people in these big venues, and I asked, what makes you angry? What makes you guys angry? Besides PowerPoint presentations, what makes you angry? What is it? Bullies, dishonesty, injustice, deep crowd lies, Republicans. Oh! Oh! People who don't like Republicans. Okay, what else? What makes you angry that you're willing to say in a big public environment? Lies, okay. Anything else that makes you angry? Traffic. Okay, let's see how you did compared to this group. Stupid people was number 1. Now, granted, at least once a day, we're that stupid person. Okay, I was complaining about traffic and people who do stupid things every now and then. I'm the thoughtless person who did the wrong thing, right? And I'm going, my turn. Sorry. Okay. People who don't care. So people don't care about their kids, who don't care about the rules. My very favorite was when people park where they're not supposed to. They're the one. My mother used to say, "Mijita, they're much more special than you." They're the special ones. Let them go. Oh, the people with the handicap sign that really aren't. That's a good one. Now, sometimes there's invisible, disabilities. Just like you guys often do invisible work, right? You don't see it. All right. Waiting in lines. So the two tied for first place were there. Waiting in lines. Rude drivers, and you know my solution. The Aunt Batilda solution is what I call it. And lateness. Okay, so I'll have to see if the social work Rito, yes. To be late or not to be late? To be late. But you guys start, okay, so this is like the first, well, that's, okay, so.
Students, you want to set yourself apart in social work, be on time, do what you said you're going to do, and know your boundaries.
Okay, so that is excellent. And you know one of my pet peeves against those of us in the helping professions? We often don't give ourselves enough respect. We'll call someone else doctor, we won't call ourselves Ms. or Mr. or doctor, right? So how do you demand respect? No one's going to give you respect if you don't ask for it, right? And don't worry, you don't have to deserve it, because you got, the way I look at it, God made you just the way you are, it's perfect. Now, it's always a work in progress, so, no one deserves stuff, we should just do it, right? Okay. So now, is this the solution to anger? Something you don't, and that's humor, right? And it's all around us.
I know when you're a kid, you feel things. A lot of things. But you have to get over that. Feelings. Not important.
Is that the solution? No, but it's really good for ulcers. And it really is good for my practice, too. People who swallow their feelings, thank you so much. You help my kids go through college. I just so appreciate it. All right. Oh, so we did the same thing. My whole point with that one was, what are you doing that you know you don't need to be doing, right? We've got the whole idea of frustration. It's a gift, right? Frustration and anger are the antidotes to sadness and depression, aren't they? Right? So they're a gift. What are you doing with that gift? It's the gift that keeps on giving sometimes, right? So now, we did this. I want you to pay attention as you talk. We're going to do an exercise in a little bit to the three phases of the three levels of anger. To me, this is all about keeping your personal power. So I just wanted to remind you again. Now, what would you do? That one reminds me of my brother. I have a brother who's 9 years older. If someone's stepping on your foot, someone's sitting on you, what do you say to them? Get off me. Now, is that a level 1, 2, or 3 response? Let's look at them. Is that Jerry Springer? Get off me? Yes, anything with violence is Jerry Springer, right? Whether it's an eye roll or you curse them and you wish that they had green something in their teeth or whatever. Yes, anything like that. Now, what makes for Yoda is the communication Aikido, that you're helping everyone to be better with how you handle it. Now, I asked a bunch of kids, maybe 500 kids, how do you shut up your mom and dad when they're mad at you in a polite way? So what 5 things were the top most used strategies to shut us up? I used to tell my kids, shut me up. All right? You know how to do it. How do they do it? How do they shut you up? You say, okay, I love you, Mom. What else? I'm sorry. What else? Start crying? That doesn't always work, but it shows you're thinking. I love you so much. I mean, that's really good, isn't it? All right, it's good deflector. So I love you is the number 1. Thank you. Now, one way to shut him is, really, thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for trying. I'm sorry, whatever, right? I'm sorry. Now, we say I'm sorry. This group doesn't need to practice saying sorry to other people. You're already good at it, right? Take a hot moment to say sorry to yourself. I'm sorry. Ready, set, I'm sorry to yourself, right? And mean it. All right. I'll get right on that. One of the number 1 reasons why we get into difficulties with people is that we haven't done what we're supposed to do, right? I used to tell my kids, shut me up. Do what you're supposed to do before I have to say it. Now, how many times have you chaired a committee of adults and they're not on time? Now, some of that's your fault that you're the chair, because if you don't start on time, everyone knows to miss the first 10 minutes because nothing happens then anyway, right? What standard are you setting? Now, this group started on time. That's really weird. Okay, I like it. Do it again. I like it. And we're going to end on time, right? Many places I go, especially in Miami, many of the groups, especially the government groups, they start 15 minutes late. Only? Yeah, you know Miami. Okay, so the issue is, it's cultural. I've learned to do pre-stuff during that time, so I'm really working, but they don't know it. I'm sneaky. Okay, so how are you working with the culture that you're with? You're right. Now everyone say to me, you're right. 1, 2, 3, you're right. I know I am, thank you. Now my kids, when I turned 55, my kids, a while ago, my kids got all together and they said, 1, 2, 3, you're right, Mama. And I went, yes! Now aren't those sweet words? Okay. And then there's Connie's solution. I was at a military event and a military wife was arguing with her husband actually during the event. And because they were arguing about how to do this next thing we're going to do. And she said, could you just let me listen? She meant, could you just shut up and listen, is what she meant to say. She got all tied up with her words. So there's Connie's solution. Every single family has a solution like that. My twin sister and her husband, when they were first married, were having a stupid fight about something. He had lied about how old he is. He's actually 7 years younger than we are. She's a cougar, didn't know it. Okay. Of course, that was a long time ago, but I'm going, you go. Okay. So the issue is, she was mad at him because he lied. Okay? And we all lie for stupid reasons, okay? That was a good one, wasn't it? Okay. Because you're going to find out eventually. It's not like you don't have a driver's license. So they were fighting, and one of them had a broken finger, and one of them suddenly said, so how's your finger? From now on, when they're in a fight, they say, so how's your finger? And they stop it, right? My dad and his brothers, 2 of them were kind of immature by my estimation, and they were having a fight in the English when we first came to this country. And one of them was saying this, and one of them was saying that, and one was saying, they were arguing back and forth, and one of them said, and your feet stink, because he ran out of words in the English. And so he went to the basic level, which is body odor. Okay. So there's humor all around you. A mistake you made, someone else made. As long as the person doesn't get humiliated, it's funny, right? And the difference between tragedy and comedy is time. Eventually, many things we can tease about it in little ways, and it's funny, right? One soldier I met had lost his arm, and he was helicoptered to the hospital. And later on, they found his arm. It was in the lost and found, he says. And they took it in another helicopter and brought it. He said it was so important that they needed 2 helicopters. He said the president only needs 1. So that's funny, isn't it? And that's his joke, not mine. Okay, so now let's talk about do-overs and the power of fun. What do you do when you put your foot in it, right? When you make a mistake. So we're all superheroes at some level. How do you fix it, right? All right, so if you're all level 3 and you make a mistake and say one of those things to someone you love, how do you apologize in a yucky way? What's a yucky apology?
Sorry, but you still need all that.
Sorry, but not my fault, you're fat, right? Okay. Okay, yeah, so I'm more rude than you, I know. Okay, so what else? What's a yucky apology? Sorry you feel that way, right? I'm sorry you think I'm wrong. My daughter used to say to my other daughter, right? I'm sorry we got caught. Whoops. I'm sorry it fell. Okay, level 1 response. How do you say you're sorry? In a thoughtful way. I'll try and do better. You guys are not, yes, sir?
I'm Ross and I'm sorry.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? Say it again, say it again.
I'm sorry.
Do we forgive him? We forgive you. Okay, so one thing that we're missing a lot in apologies is we don't do a true apology. All right? If you do any excuses or explanation, is it an apology? Absolutely not. Now, if you don't say you are forgiven to someone, what happens? See, I think when things are out of balance, there's a trick to an apology, right? You have to do it at the level of the injury, but you also have to accept it at the level of the injury. An apology is a powerful force in making someone strong, in making someone closer to you, and in making your soul shine, right? They're awesome. Okay, so now, do-over tips that kids have given us. Make time for yourself and your loved ones. All right? Discuss expectations. What do you want to get out of today? We're going to Disney. What 2 things do you want to do at Disney? And you can ask each child. Clarify expectations. One of the reasons why there's misunderstandings, people don't clarify ahead of time. You're such in a hurry to get started, you don't say, well, what are we doing? Okay? So you don't know how to set limits. Rethink your obligations and your time. Do you have enough time to actually do all the things on your agenda? If you don't have time to laugh, if you go to the bathroom, something's wrong. As I talked to one social worker, says, if I only had time to pee, I'd be good. That's like not good. Okay. Plan fun. All right, who here has some plans for fun in the next 10 days? All right, the rest of you, you need to be in rehab. All right. Think about, okay, I'm going to give you a second now. What fun thing? That doesn't have to be big. All right, it could be you listen to a tape. It could be you learn to juggle. It could be what's fun is talking to a friend and making fun of your ugly shoes or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. Think about something fun that you're going to do in the next 10 days. Ready? Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
What if you're really a true addicted workaholic and fun to you is really the competition of the work and what you're going to do next?
Well, our other speaker says the Nile is not a river in Egypt. If somebody's a workaholic, I think there's a difference between devotion and some. And I'm sure you love what you do, and I love what I do. But you got to unplug, you got to get time off, right? Because then you won't be good to anybody, right? If we're working all the time, we're avoiding something. Sorry, but I'm just saying. Okay. And there's medicine for that. Okay. And then you disconnect from gadgets. Here's a video a kid sent me, wished her parents would do. Take out your cell phone. Everyone take them out and show them. Send someone in the room a message that you appreciate them. Ready, set, go. Send everyone. One way to get people to disconnect is to use it, then they put it aside, right? You're directing the action. So go ahead, send somebody. has to be someone in the room that you're thanking. If you can't think of someone in the room, it could be someone out of the room. Gratitude is gratitude, but
Can you just tell them?
you can just tell them, but I was just making people use their gadgets because then I was going to make fun of you for texting it when you could just tell them. Yes. I know. So now turn to somebody in the room and thank them for something, you know? And thank you for dinner last night. That was really fun. We had a real hoot. It was very nice. So who has a good message they want to read? Someone have a good, it's not working here? Does anyone have a good message they want to read? Love you, all right. Okay, to me it's like Blue Boy. That artist was told not to use all blue, so he did Blue Boy. So when kids tell us something, we listen. They're telling us we're not paying attention. They're telling us we're so distracted that we're not present. So now I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you an assignment. Are you ready? The next time you go into a crowded room, it could be this one, could be the grocery store, could be at your synagogue, your church, wherever you are, stand and be still and send people love and see if they notice. I'll bet you they will. People notice stillness because it's so different from the rest. So walk into a room and just be still. Now don't look catatonic, they'll be worried about you. So, and people when they're still, okay, one thing I've noticed, okay, everyone give me your still face. Oh, you guys are better than most. Mostly they look constipated. Still is not the same as constipated, okay? Okay, so be still. All right, now, these are the gestures and words. Let me zip through. I'm sorry, my bad. Is my bad an apology? No, but the young people think it is, so let's pretend sometimes. Uncle, thank you, I love you, here's the remote, Oli Oli oxen free. Okay, those are some of them. Now, let's communicate. Let me just get through here. Who knows what these are? What are they? They're fortune tellers or cootie catchers, okay? Now, Dr. Thompson, could you please come up and demonstrate with me? Thank you, ma'am. My daughter makes these for you. I used to make them, but she does a better job, I told her, so she makes them all. It takes 51 seconds to make each one after we print them and cut them. This is our gift to you. From her sweat, not mine. Okay, now, pick a color. Pick a color. Green, and this is how you do it. G-R-E-E-N. Can you guys see back here? G-R-E-E-N. Pick a number. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another number, ma'am? 8. 8. Now, then you lift 8 and you read it. It says, I laugh when you, so you laugh when I what? When you speak. Ta-da! Okay, now, with your humor buddy, do 2 or 3 of these cootie catchers. Ready, set, communicate. Thank you, Dr. Thompson. This is what's on the inside in case you want to see. Oh, you're doing it with one hand. Pick a color. Pink. P-I-N-K. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Thank you. You too. One of my friends is a rabbi, and he sent me this quote. The most important thing in communication is to hear what is not being said. That means what we're not saying when we're listening and when they're not saying when they're talking. It's always a two-way street, right? So now, goals, have some, you should. Channel Yoda and then tell your buddy, what's a goal you have to communicate with more humor, more grace? Okay, and give me one last om. Ready? Om. All right, now tell your partner, what is your goal? One thing you're willing to commit to doing to communicate with more humor and grace. So did you find something fun you're going to do? Did you find something fun you're going to do to unhook? I believe you, but you still have to do something. I believe you. You deserve it. Being green. And I leave you with this, one of my favorite philosophers of all time, Kermit the Frog. It's not easy being green. Thank you very much. Have fun. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, no, oh, no. Thank you. Yes, and please take these home, and I have extras if you need for people you love.